Throughout all 9 seasons of The Flash, we have seen multiple speedsters go up against one another, whether it be The Flash versus all of his previous speedster opponents, Jay Garrick versus Avatar, Kid Flash versus Avatar, Nora and Bart versus Godspeed, and even The Flash and the Reverse Flash teaming up against another speedster, that being Godspeed. We have seen a plethora of speedsters face off against each other, but one dream fight that people would have loved to see but we've never got to really see on the show is that of Kid Flash versus the Reverse Flash. A fight that undoubtedly would have been very, very memorable and would have been something a lot of people would have loved to see. So in this video, we will be going over exactly this fight. What if Kid Flash fought the Reverse Flash? How will this all take place, and how the fight will be resolved as realistic as possible to the characters? So let's explore the multiverse and see how this all plays out. Eobard Thawne, the Reverse Flash, loomed menacingly over Felicity's smoke, his hand on her neck. Thawne hissed, his voice dripped with evil. Sometimes we think we are more clever than we are, because where I come from, the history books are filled with stories of this age of heroes. Green Arrow, Black Canary, The Flash, and yet no one has ever heard of Felicity Smoke. His crimson eyes glowed with malice, and his hand vibrated ominously inches from her chest. Iris is watching in a state of hopelessness and panic. A sudden gust of wind dashes through the cortex, knocking out the Earth X soldiers and the Dark Arrow in the process. And before Thawne could react, Wally West, Kid Flash, was there, knocking Eobard down to the ground, saving Felicity from her coming death. Wally's arrival gives time for Kara's exposure to Red Sun to fade off, so she can fully charge up and protect Felicity and Iris. Iris's plan worked, her backup has arrived. Now time to even the odds. Thawne straightened, his lips curling into a predatory smile. Wally West, Kid Flash, I must admit, very brave of you to be here. Wally squared his shoulders, his golden lightning crackling around him. This ends here, Thawne. I'm not letting you hurt anyone else. Thawne laughed sharply as he completely underestimates Wally. Bold words coming from a sidekick. I must remind you, do not forget who trained the person that trained you. Within a blink of an eye, Thawne launched himself at Wally, a blur of red lightning trailing behind him. Wally sidestepped the attack, countering with a punch that Thawne deflected effortlessly. Their clash sent shockwaves through the room, forcing Felicity and Iris to take cover. Kara, still weakened by the Red Sun exposure, began to stir as the chaos unfolded. The two speedsters burst out of the building, their movements tearing through the city's streets. Wally pushed himself harder than ever. This was the fight of his life. This is how he can make Barry fully proud. His golden lightning illuminating the dark skyline as he kept up with Thawne's relentless attacks. Every punch and kick exchanged between them created sonic booms that echoed across the city. Mass destruction taking place in Central City. Wally's training with Barry had prepared him for moments like this, but Thawne's experience and speed was clearly evident over Wally's. The Reverse Flash moved so swiftly. Every move he took was calculated and ruthless. He attempted to phase through Wally's chest, but Wally vibrated at the same frequency, forcing Thawne to retreat. Impressive, Thawne admitted, though his tone dripped with mockery. But you're out of your league, Kid Flash. Wally gritted his teeth. You talk too much. He executed a move Barry had shown him before, creating a vortex by running in a tight circle around Thawne. The wind pressure destabilized Thawne's footing, giving Wally the opening he needed to land a solid punch to Thawne's jaw. Thawne staggered but quickly recovered, his red lightning flaring angrily. Wally's training was very evident, but did not match Thawne's speed at all. Thawne was clearly evidently faster, and it was almost as if he was a step ahead of Wally every single time. The fight raged on, their streaks of lightning weaving through the city, illuminating amongst the darkness within Central City, almost as if it's creating a destructive light show. Buildings trembled under the force of their collisions, and car alarms blared as they zipped past. In a desperate attempt to gain the upper hand, Thawne unleashed a punch filled with anger and rage. He begins to create multiple speed mirages of himself, continuing to mock Wally with an infinite amount of blows filled with rage and electricity. Thawne was clearly mocking Wally at this point, as he continues to trample over Wally, throws him around cars and crashes him into walls. Wally's screams of pain and agony echoed around the city. It felt like he was being tortured with an endless sack of bricks in every point of his body. Thawne throws Wally to the ground. Wally staggered to stand as if he was completely unmatched, unlike ever before, his body in complete fatigue. He was internally and physically in utter destruction. Thawne launched towards Wally as if a predator was charging towards his prey. He found a moment to capitalize as he raises his hand and begins to vibrate. A sudden burst of heat vision struck on the ground in front of him, forcing him to leap back. Supergirl landed between Wally and Thawne, her cape billowing behind her. "You're not doing this alone, Wally," she said, her voice firm and unyielding. Thawne scowled, his gaze shifting between the two heroes. "How touching, the Girl of Steel and Kid Flash. You're both just pale imitations of the real heroes." "Let's find out," Kara shot back. The combined efforts of Wally and Supergirl turned the tide. Kara kept on occupied with her strength and heat vision while Wally used the distraction to tap into his full potential. He focused on the Speed Force, letting it guide him. With newfound clarity and confidence, Wally pushed his speed beyond its limits. The odds have shifted as now Wally begins to charge towards Thawne, delivering an endless amount of blows, leaving Thawne disoriented. Wally seized the moment, delivering a lightning-charged punch that sent Thawne flying. Supergirl quickly followed with a clap that disoriented the Reverse Flash further. However, Thawne was able to recover quickly. Realizing he was outnumbered, Thawne snarled quickly, "This isn't over." With a burst of red lightning charging internally, letting out all of Thawne's anger and frustration into the lightning itself, Thawne sent a shockwave of lightning as it made contact with Wally's chest, making him collapse to the ground. Wally screams in pain and agony as Kara checks on Wally. Thawne uses this as an opportunity to speed away, vanishing into the night. Wally collapsed on one knee, breathing heavily. Kara placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "You did great, Wally. You saved everyone. If it weren't for you, Felicity would have been dead right now. I would have probably been dead too." Although in immense pain, Wally slowly stands up, thanking Kara. Wally mentions that this isn't over and Thawne will be back with a bigger plan. "And we'll be ready," Kara replied confidently. "But now we need to find the others. Felicity and Iris are safe, don't worry." The battle's outcome left its mark on both the heroes and the villains. The Dark Arrow recovered from his defeat, activating a failsafe, a hidden explosive within Star Labs in case things went south. The resulting chaos allowed him and Overgirl to retreat through a breach back to Earth X quickly, taking key components of their Doomsday weapon with them. Meanwhile on Earth X, the storyline still remains the same, Barry, Oliver and the Legends trying to find a way to escape. Back on Earth 1, Team Flash regrouped. Felicity stepped up as the strategic leader, coordinating efforts to track Thawne and the other Earth X villains. Wally's help undoubtedly provided much more support for the heroes during their return, inspiring the team to fight harder than ever. So this is pretty much it in terms of Reverse Flash versus Kid Flash. I found this as the best possible outcome for them to face off against each other, as I couldn't really think of another better suiting way where we could have made these two characters fight off against each other, because it's really been left as a question mark in terms of why we did not see Kid Flash in Crisis on Earth X after the first episode. Like, yeah, okay, he was there in the first episode, but he was not there afterwards, and that didn't really make any sense. So I thought that bringing a Kid Flash return in Crisis on Earth X and helping the people on Earth 1 whilst the other heroes had to deal with whatever they're dealing with on Earth X was the best possible way that we could have made them face off against each other, because not only would Barry be away, so Wally is completely left alone and he has to force himself to be more independent, but also this was the best way which I think we could have had a Kid Flash versus Reverse Flash moment. But of course, in terms of making this realistic, Supergirl was still around. She did need to provide help eventually after she's recovered from all that Red Sun, effect, and also if Supergirl did not intervene, then it would have been good night for Wally. Thawne would have absolutely mopped the floor with him. So this is why Kara's arrival and help for Wally was absolutely necessary over here. But yeah, everything else onward just pretty much plays out the same, apart from Wally now being present with the heroes in the final battle. But yeah guys, thanks for watching. If you guys have enjoyed the video, please give a like and subscribe. Be sure to let me know in the comment section down below if you guys enjoyed this fan fiction. I'm interested to see all of your thoughts towards all of this as well. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video.